everyone, I am Praveen, working as assistant professor in the Department of Information Technology. So today I am going to tell you about the concepts of the cloud computing, and I'll take you to the tour of why cloud computing, what is cloud computing, types of cloud computing, cloud providers, and life cycle of cloud computing. So, according to National Institute of Standards and Telecommunications, NIST stands for National Institute of Standards and Telecommunication. Cloud computing is defined as, let us see, cloud computing is a model for enabling convenient on-demand network access to a shared pool of configurable computing resources such as networks, servers, storage, applications, and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. So, what does it mean? We are saying the cloud computing is a model and for enabling in the sense the services are going to be enabled. When they are going to be enabled, they are going to be enabled on demand of the network access. So once we demand the network access, so why we are demanding the network access? In order to make use of the shared pool of configurable computing resources. So shared pool of configurable computing resources. So pool of resources are the things what we have seen, just the networks, servers, storage, applications, and services. Okay, services. So the shared pool of resources are configured to one another, configured together in order to provide the resources. What resources? To release the networks, to release the servers, to release the storage, to release the applications and services that can be rapidly provisioned and released with minimal management effort or service provider interaction. Okay, so no need of involvement of the cloud service provider to be involved in order to release the resources which are necessary for the user to access his space on the cloud is the basic definition of the cloud computing according to the NIST. Next definition refers to the cloud computing refers to the use of various services. So what are the various services? Such as the software development platforms, storage, servers, and other software through internet connectivity. So we are going to access the storage, we are going to access the servers, and we are going to access the software through internet connectivity is the second definition of the cloud computing. So here I'll take you through an illustration by giving an example. Right, there is a person called as the Paul and myself, where I want to establish a company. Right, so I want to go for an advice. So I'm talking to Mr. Paul. Hi Paul, I'm about to start a company. Can you list down the resources I will need to set up on-premise infrastructure? Okay. So why not set up the things on the cloud? So the Paul is giving me the suggestion to go with the cloud environment, and now I have a doubt in my mind whether should I go with the on-premises one or the cloud environment. So for this one, I need to know the differences between the on-premises and cloud computing. What are the advantages of the cloud computing over the on-premises one? So let us see here the on-premises one. If you go with the on-premise, you need to have the higher pay and less scalability. So what is this higher pay? The higher pay stands for investing for the infrastructure, investing for the space, investing for the softwares, investing for the networks, everything. And the resources what we purchase are going to be confined, where we cannot expand the resources any further in order to make use of these resources. Because as we are saying, it is on-premises one. Suppose I have purchased a set of servers where the servers hold the storage capacity of some 1 TB, 2 TB or 10 TB maximum. But if I want to have the most storage space on premises one, where I cannot afford that one. right? So it is the case where I cannot scale my storage, I cannot scale my network, I cannot scale my resources. So I want to go with the cloud environment. So the cloud has the principle, or the cloud works with the principle called as pay for what you use. So it is nothing but a kind of the scenario where we recharge our mobile and will speak, and once the tariff is being done, then I cannot speak anymore. So if I want to go with further, I need to recharge and I can. So it has the option of scaling up of the resources. So when we want to access the resources, or when we want to suppose, uh, let me give you an example. I have a storage of some 1 TB, but I want to make use of the storage space for 10 TB. So for a period of time, because I have a project which will occupy the space of something more than what I have. So at the time I'll request, or I put up a request to the service provider in order to scale up my resources. So for that period of time, the amount of storage I have been used, right, the cost is going to be metered according to that one. And once my work is done, and when I'm not making use of the resource anymore, then it is going to be scaled down, and where I need not pay anything more, so the pay will become less. Next is allot huge space for servers. So in order to set up the servers on the on-premises environment, I need to set up the space for that one. Just like even though you go with the rack servers or tower based one, you need to put up in a location. So when you need to put up in a location, you need to allocate a safe and secure place for the service servers. But whereas on the cloud, no need of space at all. Just you will be logging from your desk onto the cloud with the credentials given for you, and you can access all the resources what we have seen, just like network, services, servers, storage, applications, etc. Next, appoint a team for hardware and software maintenance. So when I have an on-premise setup, then I need to have a team of hardware uh, members and a team of software members who will look after my network of across the premises, right? Whether the network is being properly maintained or not on day-to-day basis. But whereas on the cloud, there is no need of hardware and software maintenance, right? The cloud service provider is responsible for the instance what he has given for us on the cloud. Next is the poor data security, right? So the security on the on-premises one is very poor when compared to that of the cloud, because no one can hack the server, no one can steal the server, because it has only thing is the ID and password to access the resources. Okay. Next is the less chance of data recovery. So once the data is lost, it will be very difficult to recover the data. But whereas with the cloud environment across the globe, anywhere you might be, you can easily access and extract the resources. Okay. Next, lack of flexibility in the on-premises one, where because the infrastructure what you have purchased, the servers what you have purchased on premises are confined to a certain configuration, and if you want to install a technology, a tool which is higher than that of the existing infrastructure, then it is not compatible to the existing hardware or the server. But whereas with the cloud environment, it will have the tools and the technologies which will be updated on day-to-day basis. So irrespective of the time and irrespective of the tool or technology, we can easily install and run the application on that one. Next, no automatic updates exist for the on-premises one, but whereas with the cloud environment, you have the automatic software updates. Next is the less collaboration. There is less collaboration on premises one, because we are confined to our work and we won't be confining to any others. But whereas in the cloud environment, teams can collaborate from widespread locations, right? So you might be here, you might be at home, you might be at any other city or at any other country, right? The team of your project members can easily collaborate in order to make your project happen. Next, data cannot be accessed remotely by using the on-premises one, but whereas data can be accessed and shared anywhere over the internet. Next one is that takes longer implementation time in order to set up the infrastructure, the hardware, servers, services, and the storage. But whereas with the cloud computing, you have the rapid implementation, which can be done as very easily when compared to that of the on-premises one. So you're right, Mr. Paul. So it is better to go for the cloud environment. So I'm going with the cloud when compared to that of on-premises one. Next one is the cloud computing is the delivery of on-demand computing services over the internet on a pay-as-you-go basis, right? So you will be provided with the services for what you have paid, just like the water meters or electricity what you consume, right? And we don't know from where the services are being provided, but we are bothered about whether the power is available at our home or not. We won't bother about from where the electricity is being generated at the power grid or anywhere, but what we bother about is that whether the services are being readily available to make use once they are being provided with us in the power socket at our home. Next, rather than managing files on a local storage device, cloud computing makes it possible to save them over the internet. So, the files can be easily saved on the cloud environment when compared to that of the local storage, because the flexibility with this one is no need to carry any sort of hardware storage devices from one place to another place, as the data is being stored on the cloud internet, right? Cloud or internet, where you can easily access from anywhere on any device from any place. Okay, so uh, the cloud computing is classified into two important types. The one is the deployment model and the service model. The deployment model consists of the public cloud, private cloud, and hybrid cloud, whereas the service models have been classified into infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. So this is about the brief introduction, and in the next class, I'll will go through the concepts of the deployment model and how the deployment models are being used in our day-to-day happenings, and similarly with the service models. Thank you one and all.
Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.